Desertification and land degradation are very serious challenges. They lead to hunger and poverty. Themselves are the root of many conflicts. But recent successes show that these problems are not insurmountable. Bold action and investment in sustainable land management and restoration can boost food security, improve livelihoods, and help people adapt to climate change. One of the most unique large-scale international climate change projects is underway in Africa. Over 4,000-mile wall of trees is being constructed across the east-west axis of the continent as a defense against the rapid expanding desertification of the Sahara. The vision of a Great Green Wall to combat ecological degradation was conceived in 2005 by the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, and the idea was strongly supported by President Abdoulaye Wade of Senegal. The vision evolved into an integrated ecosystem management approach in January 2007, when the African Union adopted Declaration 137, Section 8, approving the decision on the implementation of the Great Green Wall for the Sahara Initiative. 11 nations, including Mauritania, Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti, have agreed to participate in the Great Green Wall for the Sahara and the Sahel Initiative, planting a contiguous wall of trees stretching 4,300 miles long and 9 miles wide across the entire width of the African continent from Djibouti in the east to Senegal on the west. The Great Green Wall for the Sahara and the Sahel Initiative is a pan-African program launched in 2007 by the African Union. Its goal is to reverse land degradation and desertification in the Sahel and Sahara, boost food security, and support local communities to adapt to climate change. In 2008, the first trees were planted along the wall's path. Progress and reporting currently varies from nation to nation. The process is still in its infancy and will take several years to complete. Nevertheless, the project is already showing some success. A World Food Programme report from Senegal details how villages are now harvesting fresh fruits and vegetables from dry desert sands, a byproduct of the Wall Initiative. Some 50,000 acres of trees have already been planted in Senegal. Desertification has emerged as a major planetary threat, with particularly daunting challenges for Africa. Climate change has led to prolonged periods of drought and other symptoms of desertification, which are being experienced by a growing number of countries. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization reports that 2/3 of the African continent is classified as desert or dry lands. Rainy seasons and other weather patterns, long consistent, are now changing across the region. The United Nations estimates that 2/3 of Africa's arable land could be lost by 2025 if this trend continues.
The dry lands regions of Africa for a very long time have been abandoned. Since the colonial period, the dry lands had never been really receiving attention like the coastal region, because people consider that it is resource poor. No, actually the dry land regions are the richest regions. If we are talking about eco-innovation for climate change, the dry lands region have about 10 months, 10 to 11 months of sunshine. We are talking about 12 hours of intense sunshine, which means the renewable energy potential is huge. The dry lands have one of the most dense populated regions. In Nigeria, the northern region are most of the most densely populated, which means we have human resources. We just need to invest. And my message to people in that region is that, look, you are not poor. You are not poor. You have everything to develop. You have all the natural resources to develop. You just need to be innovative.
9 miles wide and 4,300 miles long, the vision for the project is as ambitious as it is necessary. Thus far, only 330 miles of greenery stands guard in northern Senegal and costing the Senegalese government over $6 million since the start of digging in 2008. International organizations have pledged over $3 billion to the monumental defense system. Leaders point out that the Great Green Wall is about more than just protection from wind-blown sand. The project will bring thousands of jobs to impoverished communities and has already transformed otherwise unusable land into gardens scattered with tree nurseries. The influx of tourists, scientists, and medical professionals has also brought attention and resources to a neglected region in which aid is scarce and doctors are not readily available for the needy populations. According to the Great Green Wall Initiative, the goal is to help mitigate the environmental effect of climate change, including the expansion of desertification. The trees will act as a barrier against desert winds, help to hold moisture in the air and soil, reduce erosion, enhance biodiversity, provide new grazing land, and be a source of vegetation. The project is also recognized for the role it will play in local agriculture and employment. The Great Green Wall Initiative is supported by the United Nations Environment Programme, the World Food Programme, the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, and the UN-backed Global Environment Facility, the largest public funder of the United Nations environmental projects.
The support, altogether, the pledges we have had so far is $4 billion. Within the calculation, it's $4 billion that is going to be channeled into Great Green Wall and into resilience. And these pledges came from specific quotas. The French government pledged to increase its investment in resilience and Great Green Wall into 1 billion euros within the next 5 years. The World Bank pledged $1.9 billion. The Jeff Fund pledged 800 million. And we had other pledges. And you see, they will go directly into implementation. Why? Because the structures are already there. The research has been done. All the countries have their national action plan. We have a harmonized regional strategy. So we don't need to do studies. We don't need research. We don't need feasibility. So now any money that comes goes into implementation. Yeah. So we are not there for. There is no way the money will not go into implementation.
Nigeria's aspect of the project stretches from Zamfara and Kebbi states in the northwest axis along the northern border of Nigeria to the extreme eastern border in Borno State. However, the failure to fully implement projects in Nigeria had allowed the sand in the deserts to ravage thousands of square kilometers of former pasture lands, turning them into uninhabitable desert, and hundreds of thousands of pastoralists into environmental refugees, and increasing the insecurity situation in this region. Recently, the federal government announced a commitment of 10 billion naira towards the implementation of the